So recently I was at the Polyglot Gathering in Brno in Czech Republic, and I did a presentation about Sinhalese, which is my native language. Actually, it was a crash course, and at the end of the presentation I got interesting questions and feedback that I thought I would do a video for people who are interested in learning Sinhalese. So if you are learning Sinhalese or if you want to learn Sinhalese, this video is for you. So let's talk about why you want to learn Sinhala. Maybe you have some reasons already, or otherwise, I think at the end of the video you might have some reasons, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some motivation to learn Sinhala. Yeah, maybe you are traveling to Sri Lanka, so in this case you want to learn some words and some phrases that might be useful for you during your stay there. Or you just want to add another language to your language belt, let's say, or just pure curiosity or linguistic interest, and you are a polyglot and you want to add one more language. That may be a reason you are here. Or simply want to get a tattoo in Sinhalese, just because of the script, Sinhalese script that is used to write. You might be interested in learning the language a bit, maybe a few words here and there. Or some other reasons, maybe, I don't know. If there's something else, let me know in the comments. Maybe you have a partner who is from Sri Lanka and you want to learn the language to impress them, or their friends and family. Anyway, let's start. So before begin, I would like to highlight some sounds that exist in Sinhalese that you might know already if you speak some of these languages. So for example, if you speak French, you might know the word for tea is te. So in Sinhalese, it's the same word. So we say te for tea. And for bread, we say pain. So it's a bit similar to the French word for bread, which is pain. So pain and pain. So that's a bit related, I think. And another word that is also common is the word for yesterday. In French, you say hier. And in Sinhalese, we say hier. Hier. Also, it's a bit similar to Italian word for yesterday, which is ieri. So there's some similarities already. And if we talk about Italian, there are some dialects in Italy, especially in the southern Italy, I think. Instead of saying andiamo, or to mean let's go, people usually, like colloquially, you tend to say yammu. So it's a shortened version of andiamo, but people say it yammu. So in Sinhalese, we say yammu to mean let's go. So it's very interesting. The first time I heard it in Italy, for me it was, wow, why are you speaking my language? And there's no reason, no. I was with some Italian friends, and like we were leaving some place and they said yammu, and I was like, wow, what did you say? Did you learn my language secretly or what? But yeah, that's it. So yammu means let's go in Sinhalese. And if you speak Swedish, we have a word which sounds the same like kolla. Kolla means to look up, look at something in Swedish. Kolla, kolla upp, for example. And kolla means in Sinhalese a boy, a young man. Otherwise, we call kolla. And also our Portuguese and Spanish, we have this sound actually in Sinhalese. So the word for sun in Sinhalese is puta. Okay, so if you speak Portuguese or Spanish, I don't want to give an introduction to what puta means. So you already have some knowledge now in Sinhalese if you know these words. And also, if you speak Brazilian Portuguese, often you can hear the word oi. oi means to say hello, hey, or to call somebody. And in Sinhalese, strange enough, we use it to call somebody, and it's usually used among friends or in family. Otherwise, it's a bit offensive. So yeah, we have the same sound, and it means the same thing pretty much. That's interesting. Also, if you speak Vietnamese, um, people add oi to to the end of a word. For example, if somebody's name is Tuan, you can say Tuanoi, like to mean hey Tuan, or Anoi, Emoi. So you have this oi added to refer to somebody in Vietnamese. And we also have in Sinhalese, it means oi, so it means hey. It's a bit slang, and of course, it should be used in contexts where you know the people you are addressing to. Yeah, so you already have some basics if you speak some of these languages, and let's dive in to some facts about the language. So in Sri Lanka, we have two official languages, so Sinhalese and Tamil. And Sinhala stems from Indo-Aryan language branch, and it is written in Sinhalese script. So it's the only language that is written in this script. Of course, you have Pali and some other languages that are not spoken um, anymore, which is also written in Sinhalese script. But yeah, basically, currently in the world, it's the only language that's spoken in a country where using this and written in this script. And also, it's almost a syllabic language, which means each sound has a unique script. So we have letters for consonants and vowels, and also we use consonants plus some diacritic marks to refer to a vowel. And you will see how it goes as I show you later the Sinhalese alphabet. Yeah, and here is the language tree. You might be familiar with this already. And yeah, so if you are able to spot Sinhalese, have a guess right now. Maybe you can pause the video, have a look at this image, and find where Sinhalese is. So if you look up here, of course it's an Indo-European language, and if you go up the Indo-Iranian branch and to the Indo-Aryan part, you will end up in Sinhala. So yeah, here it is. And the alphabet. Okay, so don't get too much intimidated with the alphabet. There are a lot of letters, and actually we have 20 vowels in the current version of the alphabet we have, and 40 consonants. So it's a bit complicated, or it might seem at the first outset if you look at it, and it's has its unique writing system. And yeah, but don't worry, we'll just talk about the pronunciation and using how to speak in this small crash course. So now I'm gonna show you how to write the first letter of the alphabet, A. So you start with a small circle here, and then you go like this, and then you come do like a half circle, and then you go down and up. So this is the letter A, the first letter, the first vowel of the alphabet. And then we have the second one, which is A. So you do like this. This is A. And to write the third letter, A, we do like this. And the fourth letter, A, is written like this. Yeah, feel free to try it at home and just follow the exact steps that I did and see how close you can get. Now we are going to learn basic expressions in Sinhala. So hello, we say ayubovan, ayubovan. I have written this sound as closely as I can, so you can follow along with me. So say the word ayubovan on your own and repeat after me. Ayubovan. And how are you is kohomada. Kohomada. I am fine. We can say Hondai. 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 Thank you is stuti. Stuti. Please is karunakara. Karunakara. Yeah, so let's go again. Hello, ayubowan. How are you? Kohomada. I'm fine. Hondai. Thank you. Stuti. Please karunakara. So I would like to talk about the definite article in Sinhalese. So if you learn, for example, French, Italian, Portuguese, or even English, you have this definite article. So in English, it's the, but in French or Italian or Portuguese, it changes according to the gender of the noun, and so you know the gender of a noun. But in Sinhalese, here is the definite article. So actually, it does not exist. So you don't need to worry about it too much. For example, I'm giving here how you can say a flower in different ways. For example, the noun flower is mala, mala in Sinhalese, and the flower is also mala. Then we have flowers, which is the plural of the indefinite article. This is mal, mal. And the plural of the definite article, the flowers, is mal. So it does not change in the plural or in the singular. So it does not exist, the definite article. We just use either in the singular or the plural version, and the nature of the definiteness is implied using the context. So don't think too much about it, but as you learn the language and get used to it and hear it, you will be able to understand and get familiar with this concept. And we do have an indefinite article, so the equivalent of a or an. For example, the same word malaf, so the flower. To say a flower, you can say malak, malak. And the plural, as I said before, is flowers, is mal, mal. So the noun for language is bhashava. And when you add the indefinite article, a language, it becomes bhashavak, bhashavak. And the plural would be bhasha. So languages would be bhasha. So in these situations, we add the sound k, k to the end of the noun so that it becomes indefinite. Okay, so now I would like us to do a little exercise. So here are three nouns. As you can see on the left, you can see three pictures of them. So you have a book and a house and a pen. So you have to find the indefinite article of this noun. For example, the noun for the book is potta, which is written here. And what would be the indefinite article added? And also the noun for house is geya. And you have to guess what is the noun with the indefinite article. A pen is pana, and you have to figure out the indefinite article along with the noun. So just have a thought. If you want, you can go back and look at the previous slides and yeah, try to find out and write it on your own. Pause the video and have as much time as you need, and you can resume after. So I'm going to show you the answers now. Yeah, so we had the k at the end of the noun. So potta becomes potak, geya becomes geak, pana becomes panak. I hope it's clear. At least for these nouns, it works like this. And yeah, let's talk about the pronouns actually. So I is mama. I is mama. It's not mama. It's mama. Okay, because if you say mama, it means uncle. So it's not mama. I didn't put any accent on the pronunciation. Just mama, mama. And you singular is oya, oya, oya. So you have to stress the ya of oya. So I have put this mark above the letter A. And he is ohu, ohu. She is aya, aya. And we do have a gender neuter pronoun which is ea. So it means he or she, ea, ea, okay? Don't mix it up with aya, which means she. Here it means ea, okay? Ea, ea, that is a he or she, gender neuter form. And plural of I, we, it's api, api. And you plural is oyala, oyala. So look at again the mark of the above the letter A. Letters A I have used here, oyala. They would be ovun or eala, ovun or eala. So eala or ovun, in this sense, it's also gender neuter, the word for they, as in English, they could be anybody. Let's have a look at how you make a sentence, the structure of a sentence. In Sinhala, we have subject, object, and verb, S-O-V, and English, you have S-V-O, so it's different. For example, I've given here several sentences for you to have a look. I drink water. In Sinhalese, you would say, I water drink. So it would be said as mama vatura bonava. Mama, if you remember before, mama means I, vatura means water, drink is bonava, mama vatura bonava. Then you have you drink water, so it would be you water drink, oya vatura bonava, oya vatura bonava. Then he drinks water would be he water drinks, ohu vatura bonava, ohu vatura bonava. And if you want to use the gender neuter form, you can say ea vatura bonava, ea vatura bonava. She drinks water would be she water drinks, aya vatura bonava, aya vatura bonava. Or if you want to use the gender neuter, you would say ea vatura bonava, ea vatura bonava. I go to Colombo would become I Colombo go. Mama Colombo yanava, mama Colombo yanava. Now let's talk about an essential question, which is making a yes or no question. For example, if you speak French, you might be familiar with the word or the phrase est-ce que that is placed in front of a phrase or an effect to make it a question. In the same sense, we have in Sinhala the letter the that is added at the end of a sentence or phrase to make it a yes or no question. So, for example, if I want to ask, does he or she drink water? So we already know from the last slide that he or she drinks water would be ea vatura bonava. So if you want to make the question, does he or she drink water? You can ask ea vatura bonava de. Ea vatura bonava de. So just add the at the end of the phrase or the sentence. Are you coming? Oya enava de. Oya enava de. Oya enava means you are coming. So are you coming is oya enava de. Is it raining? Becomes vahinava de. Vahinava de. It rains is vahinava. And do you speak Sinhala? Oya Sinhala kata karanava de. Oya Sinhala kata karanava de. Oya Sinhala kata karanava means you speak Sinhala. So you just add the. So it's very easy to make this yes or no question, just like in French as you do with est-ce que, but here we do this at the end of the sentence. And of course, very useful words. Yes is o, o. No is ne, ne, O, and ne. So let's do a small dialogue. Let's imagine you are talking with somebody from Sri Lanka, okay? First, they say Ayubowan to you. Ayubowan, as we saw earlier, it means hello. So they say Ayubowan, and you can reply back with Ayubowan. Then they're gonna ask your name. What's your name? Okay, that is Oyage nama mokakda. Oyage nama mokakda. And you can answer, let's say your name is Sam. You can say Mage nama Sam. Mage nama. So Mage means my. Nama means name. Sam. My name is Sam. Nama and the word name are very similar, as you can see here. And you can ask them back what their name is. Oyage nama. Oyage means your. Okay. Oyage nama. Mage nama Sam. Oyage nama. Let's say they are called Kasun. So they would reply, Mage nama Kasun. Mage nama. And then you can say, nice to meet you in Sinhalese, which is Hamuima Satutak Kasun. Hamuima Satutak Kasun. Hamuima Satutak means nice to meet you or happy to meet you. Kasun. So it's the name of the person you just met. And they would probably reply, me too, which means Matat Saturak. Okay. Matat Saturak. It means me too, I'm happy. It's nice, it's a pleasure to meet you. And then you can ask, where are you from? Okay, where are you from? Oya moneratede. Oya moneratede. Oya moneratede. Okay, of course they're from Sri Lanka, so they're gonna reply you that saying that they're from Sri Lanka. So you can say, so they would say, Mama Sri Lankave. Mama means I am. Sri Lankave. Sri Lanka. I'm from Sri Lanka. And then they would probably ask you, Oya, which means, and you. And you can say where you're from. Here, I've given an example saying that you are from France. So you can say, if you're from France, you can say, Mama Pranchaye. Mama Pranchaye. Yeah, so this is a very small dialogue. And I hope you can one day speak with somebody who is from Sri Lanka and say hello and have a little conversation. Yeah, so let me show you some words that we have learned actually from Dutch and Portuguese. Why? Because of course we had some colonization from English, Dutch and Portuguese. So because of this, we have words that have been borrowed into Sinhala over the years. For example, we have words like artapel, artapel, that means potato, bonchi, which means beans, and kantoor, which means office. So these are borrowed from Dutch. Of course, you can see, if you speak Swedish, you can see the relation with kantoor, which means office also, because they are all Nordic languages as Dutch. Yeah, and if you think about Portuguese, we have also a lot of words. I've only given a few of them here. Bêbado, bêbado. Bêbado is a Portuguese word for drunkard. In Sinhala, we say bêbada, bêbada. And to mean a doll, we say bonica, bonica. So it comes from boneca, the Portuguese word. And janela, janela is a Portuguese word for window. In Sinhalese, you say janeleia, janeleia. So the first time actually I was in Brazil, I was, it was in a bus, and I was sitting next to the window, and somehow like I got to hear the word janela, and I was like, yeah, wow, why are you talking in my language? And then I quickly realized that people were referring to the window, and then later I learned that it means the window. And yeah, it was very interesting to know and realize the connections we have with the Portuguese. And later, when I was still in Brazil and traveling, I relearned, let's say, a lot of words that I knew in Sinhala. For example, you have cidade, which is with old-fashioned word which is not so much used today, which means city. So cidade we have in Portuguese, which means the city. So like this, roda, which means a wheel. In Sinhala we have rode. Like this, we have several words that could make immediately sense if you are in a Portuguese-speaking environment. And of course, interestingly, this one is for trivia, maybe one day. If somebody asks you a loan word that stems from Sinhala that you can find in Portuguese or in French, you are in luck. And we do have a word that's made the passage from the Sri Lankan island to the Europe, and it's the word Portuguese word cornaca, which means mahout, or the person that's in charge of an elephant, so is taking care of an elephant. And then later on, this word, the Portuguese word, was borrowed into French, and with some modification, and it's called cornac. Cornac means the same thing, so it's un dresseur d'éléphant. It's a cornac. So you might already know these words, and yeah, so it's interesting how it made this passage. Actually, we do not use this Sinhalese word, original word, which is kuruvanayaka. According to this etymology, it's kurunak, which we do not use anymore, I think, in Sri Lanka, but it was used according to these references in the 16th century, and it was used to refer to a person who was taking care of an elephant. In Sinhalese, in modern Sinhalese, we use at Goa, but we have some city names, for example, like Kurovita, and also a river called Kuruganga, Kurunagala, which is a name of a town that are associated, for example, with elephants or something to do with elephants. So yeah, so that's maybe a little remainder from the original word that existed in Sinhalese back in the days. So anyway, we have this word from Sinhala that made all the way to French. As a matter of fact, after I did this crash course at the Polyglot Gathering this year, one of the guys who was there at the audience came to me. He was Polish, and he said, we have a word, similar word, which is kornak, I think, but written with K in Polish. And he said he checked it, and it means the person taking care of an elephant, or mahout. And I didn't try to verify it. I took his word for it. But if you're Polish, or if you speak Polish, let me know in comments if it's what do you think about it, or if you have heard this word. And it's very interesting how one word has traveled so far over the languages and or the language families. ඉතින් කොහොමද? මං හිතනවා ඔයාට සිංහල පොඩ්ඩක් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා. So how is it? Maybe you learned some words or some phrases. I'm happy if you learned something, and let me know what you think. And if you have any questions or comments, also let me know. I would be glad to reply. Thank you very much. Bom stuti. Ayubowan.